test that how they act. Is there any terminology which is related to Unani antibiotics that act by another ways? So what are the mechanism we can explore? So this is the main emphasis which I will give here today, inshallah. So first of all, before going to know the Unani antibiotics which are available in our classical text, first of all we should know the concept of microbes in Unani system of medicine. Mostly, yeah, most of us usually we rightly say, we can say abruptly that there is a no concept of microbe in Unani system of medicine. Absolutely, you can say it may be correct but may be wrong. There is not any clear cut definition, there is not any clear cut you can say definition of microbes in Unani system of medicine. I am satisfied, I agree, but the concept of infectious diseases is available in our classical text, right from the Hippocrates and up to the Iranian as well as the Indian scholar books. The concept of infectious diseases is available in the book that is written by Hippocrates, like epidemia. Epidemia means waba. So that means Hippocrates up to some extent knows that the how the diseases spread from one person to another person. It means the contagious effect of a disease is known by Hippocrates. So this is the concept that is given in our classical text from the Hippocrates, from in Jurjani's book, in Ibn Sina's book, in Razi's concept, and so many other renowned scholars of Unani system of medicine. So this idea, it means given by Hippocrates. The empirical evidence of the infectious diseases is basically given in the 20th century by the Louis Pasteur, by the Robert Koch, by that obtaining the bacteriological techniques, and finally by the Sir Alexander Fleming, by discovering the penicillin antibiotics from the Penicillium notatum and Penicillium rubens, and also discovering so many bacteria also by Alexander Fleming in 1928. The empirical evidence is being given, has been given in 20th century, but the idea was given in by the Unani as well as the Greco-Arab scholars, like Amraze Wafida, Ufunat, Amrade Mutaddiya, and Ufuni Amraz, Amrade Obaya. These kind of terminologies, they are indicating toward the infectious diseases. Like Ibn Sina mentioned, some specific minute bodies called Ajsame Khabisa. They are bad substances. He stated that these minute bodies are present in the patient and they may be transferred to a healthy person through close contact, food, vomit, and the environment. Another important scholar that we call Ibn Khatib Baghdadi. Ibn Khatib Baghdadi, he has written a book particularly on taun, on plague. So he tells that a person who comes in contact with a patient of plague may suffer from same system. Another Turkish scholar that we call Halabi, the Nasrullah Halabi, he has written an important book that we call Ghayatul Bayan. So Ghayatul Bayan, he also he writes that waba is a toxic matter which invades the human body and causes acute condition like fever, diarrhea, and this toxic matter transfer from feces, water, polluted air, bodies. Now we are coming to the infectious diseases. Already witnessed in cases in the period of corona that in one chamber there are 10 people, but we observe that only one or two people are affected and the rest numbers were not affected. Why? That means there are some another mechanism which is responsible for the causing infection and as well as for causing the effect of the disease in a person. Not only the presence of microbes in the body is not solely responsible for causing the effect of the disease. There are some other mechanisms, there are some other factors which are responsible for causing the infection to a person. So we have tried to three key factors that are responsible for causing the infection as well as the contagion. Here we are sitting here, there are a large number of pathogenic and non-pathogenic microorganisms, but we are safe because of the immunity. So the first one is the imbalance between the four humors. As my earlier speaker has also said, four humors. The imbalance, if there is imbalance between the four humors, the body will be weak. And the body will be weak, so immunity will be suppressed. When the immunity will be suppressed, the disease will be superior. And another, weak kuwate mudabbir badan. So weak kuwate mudabbir badan is also a key factor, one of the key factors which is responsible for affecting the body. And high kuwate istedad, it is also very, very important. I know, as I know, there are usually people are knowing that there are only two factors, but this is the very important. High kuwate istibda. There are some bodies which are more susceptible, we are more prone to the infection. And if your body is prone to the infection, your body get affected. Otherwise, if or not, if your body is not prone to the infection, not susceptible to the microorganism, so your body will not be affected. So these are basically three key factors. Now I am coming to the topic which I am giving here, the need of the natural. Why we are needed to discover, to explore the natural antibiotics. Number one, the therapeutic benefit. Another is the because they are relatively safe. As we know, there are the MDR, multi-drug resistance. है ना? The Alexander Fleming discovered the penicillin. That we got penicillin is divided to penicillin V as the penicillin G. But penicillin V and penicillin G both are failure in case of the beta lactamase releasing bacteria. They are unable. They do not work. Huh? So there is a need therapeutic benefit, relatively safe, and economic benefit also. Economic benefit there is and cost effective. As we know, yesterday I purchased an antibiotic Ferronem, costing of 110 rupees per tablet. So this is a very much costly. Huh? So as a cost effective purpose, there is a need to discover another alternative antibiotics. Some plants are highly specific in their action in the human body, like capsaicin, like neem, and so many other medicines. So they are very effective. And AMR and LTMR. In 2011, the WHO has given a slogan, that is the combat the drug resistance. That means that 12 years back, the drug resistance cases were started. So 12 years back, the WHO has given the slogan, combat the drug resistance. And WHO given that no action today, no cure tomorrow. So there is a need to explore some alternative treatment for the natural antibiotics. Why the plant-based antimicrobial agents are safe against resistance? We know there are so many students. Some students are delicate and some are coarse type. You beat them, no effect. And there are some person only you by scolding, they become collapsed. Why? So this is the case of the plant. Plants are unable to talk. They cannot express, but So because of this, the adaptability nature of the plant become much strong and stronger. So we have to explore the antibiotics from the plants, and because the antibiotic from the source from the plant will be more stronger, because they are living in an so can you can call in a stress condition, and once the thing is developed in a stress condition, it will be strong, not really strong but stronger. So plant are living in a stress condition. So there is a need to explore the medicine from the plant based. And there are antimicrobial products from the Mawalide Salasa. Okay. Like there are three origins: animal origins, plant origins, and in three origins, we are having the antibiotics from animal origins like honey, from plant origins, so many drugs uh, which are having secondary metabolites, mineral origins like mica, like tutia, like hartal. They are also the strong antimicrobial agents. They are applied in so many cases. The oral use of Hajrul Yahud is specific for UTI. Usually, we know that Hajrul Yahud act is acting by virtue of its mufattite hasad property. Is not Hajrul Yahud is also effective in case of UTI also by virtue of its antimicrobial property. So, in addition to Mufattite Hasad property, Hajrul Yahud is acting as an antimicrobial. So, what are these are the possible Unani mechanism for antimicrobial agents. So, by primary action, by secondary action, as well as by tertiary action. So, by three actions, the Unani drugs act their antimicrobial properties. By primary action, and by virtue of their qualities like tasqeen, like tabrid, like change in the favorable medium, they inhibit the bacterial. When you change the medium, suppose if the bacteria is growing in a medium of hot, in a hot medium, so there is a need to change the medium from heat to cold. Automatically the growth of the bacteria will be stopped. So some drugs act by virtue of their qualities, and they are by secondary action like munzijat. Munzijat, they are not only make the fasid mawad to be expelled out, not, but also they make the pathological substances which are accumulated in a vacuole to be expelled out by virtue of their antimicrobial properties. And musilat, they change the favorable medium by evacuating the morbid material, enhance the function of tabiat. So by using the musilat, we are enhancing the function of tabiat. So musilat not only act as purgative, they also act as antimicrobial also. Muaddilat and musaffiyat, they are also acting as antimicrobial also, not only to purify the blood, not only to make the alternative arrangement for the blood. Muharriqat, by change in the medium, there are so many drugs which are particularly certain and specific organs, and by acting on specific organs they also act some properties like munafise balgam. So munafise balgam, they are acting on a chest, they are acting on riya and sadr. So munafisat, so act by inhibition or microbial growth by changing the medium like murbakki. That is why murbakki is used in by our physician in case of wabai amras. If you see the classical text, you will find in many cases of wabai amras, the murmakki is advised by the physicians. So Katile Jarasim Adviya is also listed in any classical text by their properties as antimicrobial. So Katile Jarasim, doesn't mean that only Qatile Jarasim Adviya have a microbicidal or bacteriostatic action. These are other drugs like Munafisat Balgam, like Mufattit Hasad. These drugs also exhibit the properties of antimicrobial. So, properties of antimicrobial. So, I am escaping these slides. These are the antibacterial screening which we are carrying out in our department by virtue of three methodology, by zone inhibition and by minimum inhibitory concentration, minimum bactericidal concentration. So these are three mechanisms, and by virtue of these three mechanisms, we are carrying out the antimicrobial properties of Unani drugs, which are mentioned in our classical text. And you will be wondered to know that I think more than 50 drugs have been tested for their antimicrobial properties in our department. And there are some single drugs as well as compound drugs have been tested by following the guidelines given by clinical and laboratory standard institute against the so many bacterial. Even the some positive gram positive against the some gram positive bacteria and gram negative bacteria. Our department have tested so many drugs. I want to show some examples. The antimicrobial activity of aqueous and alcoholic extract, hydroalcoholic extract of mocherus. Mocherus is a gummy matter that you can see. So this is by virtue of zone inhibition. In the central part, there is a standard antibiotic, that is ciprofloxacin. There is ciprofloxacin, and Al is the alcoholic extract. AHA hydroalcoholic ester, PC plain control. So these are the you can say the culture plate. These are three types of gram positive bacteria. You know, Staphylococcus, Corynebacterium, xerosis, Bacillus xerosis. So we have used three extract: alcoholic extract, hydroalcoholic extract, and aqueous extract, and mocherus. So mocherus is a gummy, and you can see this is the ciprofloxacin. And in case of ciprofloxacin, there is the zone inhibition of is more. That it means the effect of ciprofloxacin is more, whereas the alcoholic extract has also exhibiting its effect like this. So it also inhibit the growth of the bacteria. This is the by in case of the gram negative against the gram Escherichia coli and Pseudomonas. You can see here we are using the standard like the gentamicin. So by virtue of the gentamicin, so in the central part is the gentamicin, and in the peripheral part is the extract. So the MIC and MBC, we know. These are the equipment which we are using in our department, like autoclave, laminar flow, digital colony counter incubator, hot air oven. These are the instruments that are applied in case of the conducting the antimicrobial screening. Application of herbal antibiotic. One example I want to say that in case of the sikanjabin, we know the sikanjabin is comprises by the honey as well as the vinegar. Honey as well as vinegar. When the honey and vinegar is given in applied in a combination form, the efficacy will be nearly 1,000 more. In case of the honey, it becomes 1 lakh times more. Can you see? Can you see? This sikanjabin. According to a scientific American study, recently the mixture of honey and vinegar has been used successfully in a biofilm for topical uses on a wound where the bacteria has become resistant to antibiotics. Both ingredients having been used historically as an antiseptic, but the combination was reported as killing as much as 1000 times more bacteria than vinegar. यानी विनेगर के कंपैरिजन में खाली अगर विनेगर आप सिंगल इस्तेमाल करें तो कॉम्बिनेशन में 1000 टाइम ज्यादा हो जा रहा है, और हनी अगर सिंगल के इस्तेमाल करें उसके कंपैरिजन में 1,00,000 गुना बढ़ जा रहा। सो आप अंदाजा लगाएं कि अतिब्बा की हजाकत को जो सिकंजबीन का इस्तेमाल किया, दिस इज बेस्ड बाय अमेरिकन स्टडी इन कॉम्बिनेशन फॉर्म. So there is a need to explore the herbal antibiotics, because there are so many cases like HIV cases. We can use the herbal antibiotics. In case of the immunocompromised patient, when usually the antimicrobial agents become failure. So there is a need to use in case of immunosuppressed patient Unani herbal antibiotics. And so many other URT infections, some viral infection, there is a need to use the herbal like Leuxapista and so many other drugs. Due to shortage of time, I am ending my talk here. I am very much thankful to the organizer for giving me this opportunity to deliver my talk. Thank you.
This was very enlightening lecture. Since intellectuals of the field are sitting here in this hall, I would like to say few words, few research clues based on the Unani system of medicine. What we do in culture, we arrange atmosphere for the growth of the bacteria. Bacteria are everywhere in the world, also in our body. Our orifices are filled with bacteria. There is a system of healthy bacteria and unhealthy bacteria. Healthy bacteria always dominate and suppresses the unhealthy bacteria. Actually, there are two ways to combat bacterial infection. One is directly kill them. There are so many medicines. They are bactericidal, bacteriostatic, and another which is human friendly and body friendly way to combat infection is to withdraw those culture or those media from the body in which the bacteria provides suitable condition to grow. Again, I will come to fluid dynamics. That is the way. Thank you so much, Dr. Abdur Rauf. And I again request Dr. Tariq to continue.